UFC 324. After 6 long, gruesome, painful weeks, we are finally back. We got some MMA action. We got some UFC action. And it's the debut on Paramount. So we're excited. We're going to get into this relatively still loaded fight card despite losing a title fight in the co-main event. We're back with picks, predictions, and breakdowns. Last year, for the total of 2025 pay-per-views for the main cards, we finished with a 66% hit rate. We're going to try and carry over some of that luck and keep it going in this year as well. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at we're going to do something different for this one because it's such an interesting card. We're going to go with the prelim main event. Umar Nurmagomedov taking on Deiveson Figueiredo in the bantamweight division. Umar, he wins. He's basically back in the title picture. Deiveson, if he wins, well, that shakes up a whole lot of things. I'm not even going to spend too much time on this one. We're going to take Umar to win. I think he's going to win comfortably. It might go to decision. I could see him finishing it at especially Deiveson wears himself out trying to go for gold early. Either way, I'm taking Umar. There's not really a bet in this one worth taking. There is no spread right now, and Umar's a minus 1,400 favorite. The over/under set 2.5. There's no real good bets here. Like if you want to throw Umar money line on like a football parlay or something like that just to spice it up, then sure. But like at this point, there's no bet worth taking. Such a massive favorite. If you really believe in Figueiredo, well, bet smarter, not harder. I wouldn't do it, but feel free to throw something on there if you really believe in him. But that's a tough matchup. So we're just going to take Umar. Moving on now to the main card, which will not be on pay-per-view. It will be on Paramount Plus. You won't have to change the channel. Arnold Allen taking on Gene Silva. Number 6 versus number 10 in the featherweight division. Arnold Allen, couple of tough losses before getting a win back. He's the losses to Max Holloway as well as Masvidal. Lost to some of the cream of the crop in the division, but did come back and get that win against Giga. And then Gene Silva, tough loss against Diego Lopez, a very brutal fight, back and forth, heavy hands. Exactly what you expect from Diego Lopez and Gene Silva. He had his moments too. There were times he could have finished it. He's, for lack of better terms, an absolute killer in there. I'm going to take Gene Silva to pull out the upset. There are some moments with Arnold Allen. If he doesn't get the takedowns and isn't able to control it, I do think Gene Silva is very dangerous in a variety of ways. We saw what he did against Bryce Mitchell, getting the submission on the ground. I know Arnold Allen's better than Bryce Mitchell, especially on the ground. He's a much bigger guy too. So I don't think Gene will be able to overpower him as much. But he just packs so much thunder in those hands. And Arnold Allen is very, very hittable. Doesn't have the tightest defense, and I don't think he's going to spam takedowns as relentlessly. And I don't think he can fire back with the same vitriol like a Diego Lopez to keep him off him. I think Gene Silva is very much a pit bull coming forward. When he's grooving and he's feeling, when he's shucking, he's driving, he's throwing, he's slinging, it's difficult for anybody to get him once he gets going. For that, we're also going to take the bet that the fight will not go the distance at minus 130. Like I said, if Allen does get him, I think he's going to break him and tap him out on the ground or TKO him on the ground. Or Gene Silva is going to catch him with either submission or a massive KO shot. So this fight not going the distance. Our first bet is minus 130 that it won't go the distance. But we're going to take Gene Silva to get the win. He's just a tornado of pain and death and uncomfortable cringe when he's barking. Next up in the women's flyweight division, we got Natalia Silva taking on Rose Namajunas. A very interesting fight because Natalia Silva's been outstanding since she's been in the UFC. She's undefeated, 7-0. Rose, former multi-time champion, but a very up and down run. She'll have her highs are as high as anybody in the women's division's history. The wins over Shang Wei Li, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. And then the lows, it's like, wait, what happened here? The Carla Esparza fights, she just has some weird fights. Jessica Andrade, where something just doesn't always click. I'm going to also go with Natalia Silva here. I think this is the type of fight Rose randomly will pull out a win on more often than not. But she's been in the UFC for so long, I don't know if we'll keep going quite back to that well. There was rumors that if she wins, she will be taking on Valentina Shevchenko. I don't think that's going to quite happen. I think that's an interesting fight, but that's more or less, it feels like them just trying to find anyone that they can match up with Valentina because she's cleared out pretty much everything. We're going to take Natalia Silva to win. There's not a lot of bets for this one either that I like, but I will take the minus 3.5 point spread for Natalia Silva at minus 120. I think she's going to win comfortably. One of the judges will give her 30-27 probably, with the other two being 29-28. I think she'll win this one relatively comfortably. Maybe she gets a stop. I mean, 5 of her 7 wins have gone to decision, so I do expect this to go the distance, but the odds on the over-under for that were just outrageous too. So we're just going to take Natalia Silva to win, and she'll cover that 3.5 point spread. Moving on to the big boys, the heavyweights. Derek Lewis take on Waldo Cortez Acosta. 16-2, 29-12. We all know about the Black Beast. As soon as you count him out, that's when he comes slinging with a knockout. Acosta's, he's kind of been the next guy at heavyweight. It feels like he's the prospect everyone's kind of waiting to take that next step to be the guy that they can mix in there, because heavyweight is very, very shallow. He feels like the one they want next. One thing we know about Derek Lewis in these situations, as I mentioned, he is going to come out firing. He has said he's lost some weight. He's feeling pretty good. We saw this in other fights where he's fought top contenders. I think he's a plus 200 underdog in one of his last fights as against one of the top contenders. And what did he do? A knockout in less than 60 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. Like, he pretty much ran through him. And at heavyweight being Talison Teixeira, 35 seconds. And before that, Rodrigo Nascimento, 49 seconds in the third round. So he's coming off back-to-back knockouts. And at heavyweight, even being 40 years old and the way Derek Lewis fights too, that power still translates. So that's tough. Everything in me wants the big Derek Lewis. It would be great to see him continue just to continue to devastate the chances for up-and-comers in that division. We're going to still take Waldo, Cortez, Acosta, though. I think he's going to find a way to get it done. I think he'll be able to just avoid the power. I will say this will go under 1.5 rounds. I do think Derek Lewis coming in swinging, he's either going to catch him, he's going to clip him, and it's going to put the lights out, or Cortez Acosta is going to shoot underneath, get him on the ground, and take care of business if he gets him down. I think it's under 1.5 rounds. Feels like this fight's going to be decided early. I've almost talked myself into picking Derek Lewis. I've changed my mind. We have flipped. We are taking Derek Lewis. He is going to crack him, and he's going to put the lights out early. 3-fight win streak, put himself in title contention once again. You can't get rid of Derek Lewis, no matter how many times he seems to fall, and he gets right back up and is right in the thick of things. So talk myself into it. Derek Lewis with the win under 1.5 rounds for the bet at -105. All right, next up, the new co-main event. Now we got Sugar Sean O'Malley taking on Song Yadong, number 3 versus number 5, with realistically a potential chance to fight Petr Yan on the White House card in July for whoever wins, especially if Sean wins, that's for sure. Coming off a couple of losses to Merab and the surgery. Had some time off. Song Yadong's been on a really strong streak as well. He himself is right there in the middle of excuse me. He's right there in the middle of title contention as well. Coming off that big win over Henry Cejudo. He did lose to Petr Yan before that in a close decision, but he's also beat Chris Gutierrez, Ricky Simone. It's been a little up and down, losses to Corey Sandhagen, but he's right in the thick of it. He does have some good wins, and with the way bantamweight has been shaken up by Merab over the years, I think a Song Yadong win could, maybe him and Umar could end up fighting for a title eliminator just in the meantime. But I still like Sean to get this one done. I think it's those Merab fights almost has like y'all must have forgot feel to it, where a lot of people might not fully understand how good he is in open space, how good he is at controlling the distance, how good he is at being a sniper on the edge when he has the length, the long legs, the long punches, controlling, circling left and right. And when you close the distance, you have to go through pain to get to it. Song Yadong is very good. He's not a Terminator like Merab, who could, I think, can just run through that. So I expect Sean to have his way with him on the feet. Yadong's not, I know he did get the KO over Ricky Simone in the 5th round, but he's not necessarily known as a knockout guy. He's not a heavy puncher. He did get Marlon Moraes as well, but I still just don't know. I don't see him getting a one-shot knockout here or being able to get Sean on the ground and just manhandle him. So I'm going to say Sean finds a way to get it done, just controlling it on the feet, being very light, hard to hit. Song Yadong, pretty good UFC record overall, only a couple of losses, does have that draw. I think this is a big win for Sean O'Malley. We're going to take the -3.5 point spread at +110 odds. I think there's a strong chance he can finish the fight, I would say. I think Song Yadong could run into something and Sean could put him away, which would cover the point spread. But either way, I expect him to have a y'all must have forgot moment in this one. Now to the main event, Justin Gaethje taking on Paddy Pimblett for the Interim Lightweight Championship. Winner, in theory, is going to fight Ilia Topuria later this year. This one's surprisingly interesting when I looked at the spread too, and at the odds. -230 for Paddy Pimblett, +190 for Justin Gaethje. I do like Paddy Pimblett to get the win here. I think he's too well-rounded. Justin Gaethje's taken a lot of damage. He's getting a lot older. The point spread is 9.5. So that's with a 5-round fight. They're expecting if it does go the distance, Paddy's going to basically control a pillar to post, it sounds like. I like Paddy Pimblett to get this one done. I think he's hitting his stride. We saw a lot against Michael Chandler, what I think he'll be able to do here. Don't get me wrong, Justin Gaethje's 1,000 times better than Michael Chandler, especially at this point. But I just feel like Paddy Pimblett's he can get the takedowns. He's really good on the feet. We all know about his ground game, but on the feet, he's shown a lot. The knees, the kicks, the long punches. He's big for the weight class. Gaethje's been he's done a better job tightening up his defense, but he's still very hittable. He's still taken so much damage. And Paddy Pimblett, they say Scousers don't get knocked out, lad. So we'll see. We're going to put that to the test, but I'm going to say Paddy Pimblett gets it done. We're going to take under 2.5 total takedowns for Paddy Pimblett. I believe he's going to do a lot of damage on the feet. And if he does get a takedown, I think it'll be like the Michael Chandler fight, where it might be done once it gets to the ground once. Maybe, or he might drop Justin Gaethje, they get him to the ground that way. So we're going to go under 2.5 takedowns. And Gaethje's takedown defense is very, very good still. So no matter which way it goes, I do believe that we're going to see under 2.5 takedowns for Paddy Pimblett. If you wanted to parlay all of these bets together, you'd be looking at plus 2,035 odds. Remember, bet smarter, not harder. Only bet what you can afford to lose. The house never loses. They just sometimes give you a chance to win here and there. So let us know down below who you think is going to win in the first pay-per-view of the first UFC, no longer pay-per-view, the first UFC numbered card of the year. Let us know which bets you like as well, and we'll see you all again next time.